This person says, just Google, is soccer an endurance sport? Then tell me what comes up. And he's right. If you Google, is soccer an endurance sport? It says, yes, soccer is an endurance sport because it requires players to sustain physical and mental effort for long periods of time. But I want to show you something else. When I Google, is soccer a speed and power sport? It also says yes, because soccer is a speed and power sport that requires a combination of speed, agility, and strength. And it goes into all these things about speed and power. It doesn't mention endurance once. It's almost like Google is sometimes a confirmation bias machine, and you have to actually look more into it to know whether you're getting a good answer or not. But we could theoretically look at soccer as a hybrid sport that uses both speed and power, but also endurance. With on one side of the spectrum, we have our pure speed and power sports, track sprinters and Olympic weightlifters. And on the other side of the spectrum, we have our long distance endurance athletes like these guys here. And soccer probably lies somewhere on the middle there. But I have to go back to this photo because it really breaks down one of the big differences between soccer and pure endurance sports. Which one of these athletes looks more like they could be a good soccer player based purely on their physiques? The marathon runner on the left or the sprinter on the right? Now, you might say the sprinter looks a little bit too big for soccer, but the marathon runner looks like his legs could get snapped in half by one hard tackle. I'm going with the sprinter personally. And once again, let's look at some soccer players. Yeah, all these soccer players look way closer to the sprinter than they do the endurance runner. And it's probably because they need the strength, speed, and power that having that extra muscle mass helps them with. The energy system demands of soccer is probably the best argument whatsoever, because when we look at it and then we compare it to endurance sports, and we got it nice and neat here, running for distance in soccer is just a little bit below. When we look at the ATP system, soccer is at 50% for this, to where running for distance is only at 10%. Now in the in-between, running for distance is 20, which is actually the same as soccer. Then we have oxidative, which is the pure aerobic endurance energy system. Long distance running is at 70 and soccer is at 30. So there is an element to it in soccer, but it's a minority element. But we can even look at the game itself and ask ourselves a question. What type of physical actions are most common in the important plays in the game? The plays that score goals, the plays that stop the other team from scoring, and things like that. Is it long sustained running for a period of time? Or is it a short, dynamic, high-intensity burst, a sprint, jumping up high for a header, or shooting a powerful shot? It's the latter. The high-intensity anaerobic movements of speed and power are the most useful and important actions done in a soccer game. So the priority is on those actions and not the long, sustained actions of endurance. But that doesn't mean there isn't an endurance component to soccer. However, it is speed and power endurance, not pure endurance. The difference being is that speed and power endurance has a prerequisite of speed and power. Because if your team is just full of slow players, I don't care how long they can run slow. I want to have players that can run fast and then repeatedly run fast throughout a game. That's what you want in soccer. And this requires fundamentally different training than endurance sports like cross country and similar sports.